June is starting with a banger, isn't it?
Oh yeah!
Summer is officially here. There's been a few years since Glow On shot these guys up into the stratosphere as one of the biggest bands of this decade. And to quickly address the elephant in the room so that we can move on, this is their first album without their original metallic guitarist, so they may lose some of that bite, but they do seem to have kept some of his pedals, so I think it's fine. Fans always struggle when original members are no longer in a band. I've seen it happen countless times, but I think Turnstile will be happy with how this goes down considering that change. I saw an interview saying some of these songs are old, so I'm curious which ones those are. So yeah, since all that happened, they've pretty much toured round the world non-stop. See, no one knows live music like Turnstile does. Even someone like me who was in a signed band and did some tours and then worked for much bigger bands on the road. So think about that when you listen to this album in your quiet room. Imagine a room of thousands of people just jumping, drenched in sweats. Glow On came with cool visuals, which maybe led to Brandon directing a music video for Paramore. Sure, they're all older and probably tired now, but I'm sure they're a lot happier with all their success, as they should be. So one of the many questions on everyone's lips is it just Glow On 2.0?
Yeah, boy!
Who said that? Well, it's a yes and a no from me. It begs that age-old question of, did we want another Nevermind or did we need In Utero? I hope after all the smoke clears, Glow On will be that album that in a few years' time, Zoomers will give us 20 new amazing bands where they will say they all started because of that album. But if not, this will certainly be an album where any 12-year-old who's just got a new guitar can play along to this, and I think that's pretty cool. They've always had simple, catchy riffs since their early stuff. I went back and double-checked. Turnstile are becoming the gateway bridge band now, and due to how many ears are being exposed to them. Right, guys, it's me. I'm back again. Just want to draw your attention to this new album by Turnstile called Never Enough. If you've never heard Turnstile before, they're a hardcore punk dream pop band from Baltimore in America. What's on the menu today? What a child! We've got 14 tracks for you, technically 13, running at 45 minutes. Though it's probably more like 30 minutes of actual songs. It always seemed to me that Turnstile wrote 2-minute songs and then they would remix their own songs by putting layers upon layers of vocals and stuff on top of the spine of the track. And with this album, you can kind of see that in full effect. Feels like a natural progression to me, and starting with track 1, the title track, Never Enough. Bang! Right out the gates, this is album for the summer. Those palm trees, sun-soaked, sparkling swimming pool days. It's an absolute classic. I love it. It's one of the songs of the year for me, easily. I'm glad it was the first single. It's like putting washed out Foo Fighters and Weezer and Turnstile in a blender.
It's just Mystery 2.0.
If it is, I think it's the perfect 2025 version. I absolutely love it. I wanted the whole album to be like this. Track 2 is Soul. Out of the songs I've wanted to hear since Never Enough, it's this one, obviously. It was a smidge of an anticlimax. I was hoping it would start how it ends with that moshy part. The chorus has some big football chant energy that I can see doing very well at festivals. I love the glittery synth that ends with...
It's just Endless 2.0.
Maybe. After that, we've got track 3, I Care. I saw them play this on Fallon. YouTube's going to stick his portrait photo underneath this now, aren't they? Really wish the lyrics to the chorus were different, but it's grown on me a lot. I like its little millennium pop sounding synth in the middle. I also like the dragged guitar lick.
It's just new hot design.
I guess. As I was saying, I like the little glittery synth it fades out with. Have to be careful I don't say that about every song on this album. But after that, we've got track 4, Dreaming.
Scar, say it's Scar.
Okay. The intro made me think of Geek Stink Breath by Green Day. Then, bang, that moment happened. I thought I was listening to bloody Real Big Fish. But hey, I liked ska back in the day, so I don't shriek when I hear a horn. I just see a field of people having a laugh dancing to it at festivals. Again, going for more of those football chant moments live.
It's just don't play.
Sure. All right, mate. I sincerely hope all the fans take maracas to the gig to play during this song. It makes me wonder if Brendan's a fan of Friendly Fires. A horrendous beat switch up at the end, though. Track 5, Light Design. I wanted this to go full-on shoegaze. I could have had another 5 minutes of this one. Just drench it in those guitars and vocals. It's probably my favourite of today. Gutted it ended. Look at me read it. Track 6 is Dull. That's the title. We always press play wondering, is this going to be the TLC of the album? How many fast tracks are we going to get versus how many Paramore sounding ones are we going to get? There is a sort of 80s vibe to parts of this, with an absolutely bonkers Tom Morello sort of moment, which they had with Dance Off on Glow On. If you listen to their early stuff, it kind of sounds like when Rage Against the Machine would do a song like Darkness. Obviously, Zach coming from hardcore punk, you can see why Brendan's a fan. Again, too short this one. Track 7 is Sun Shower. Zane Lowe shouted this track out in his interview with the band, so I was curious to see if this was going to be the track for the album. The upbeat punk rock song at the start is indeed great, and it will probably be very popular live. As someone that loves Avatar, etc., I'm a sucker for synths and flutes, so I love the second half of this. Again, I wish they leaned more into this sort of stretching everything out more, for this to be their Dark Side of the Moon album, but, you know, make it longer live, lads. Add some Amazon bird noises to it. Do you want to introduce this one, mate?
Track 8, look out for me.
I so wish that this was the second single that got a proper band music video. I wasn't into it when it dropped, but it's really grown on me the more I've listened to it. I think I was just bummed about Stars and Birds that I didn't let this one win me over immediately. The Jersey Beat Alarm outro is so good. I hope they end every set with it. It's definitely one of the best tracks on the album that showcases perfectly how this is not Glow On. You got nothing to say about that, have you, mate? Track 9 is Ceiling. It's a very short little chip punk. I keep saying chip punk. Track 9 is Ceiling. It's a very short little chipmunk moment. Nothing to see here. We'll just carry on moving on. And here it is. Track 10, Seeing Stars. Again, back to those Underwater Boy moments where they sound like the Police or the recent High Vis album. I wasn't fussed with this as a second single. It took the wind out of my sails hype-wise, but I do like when he says I fold and how the guitar sounds like the ghost of Brady. It's grown on me a lot with each listen, and I think my main issue is just the straight drum beat for the first half of the track. Track 11 is Birds.
This is that TLC track.
Leave me alone. Now, Turnstile have had simple riffs before, so I can never know who actually wrote what back in the day, but I was a little disappointed in this riff when I first heard it, and it made me nervous that the album might have a guitarist issue, but as you can see after listening, it's got some really great songs without them, and they will obviously fine-tune that for the next album, I'm sure. Brendan really is what makes this track. After that, we got track 12, Slow Dive. It's one of the weaker tracks for me, sadly. I guess it's just the slowness of it. It has got another little Rage Against the Machine nod to it with the effect on the build-up. I really kind of wish Brendan screamed Heartbreak, though.
It's just like again.
Yes, whatever you say. Track 13 is Time is Happening. Time sure is happening, folks. I was 18 once. I love how summery this one is. Another one of my favourites from today. They have had songs like this since Blue by You a decade ago. And I say it a lot on this channel, but when I love something, I never want it to end, so sure, that means I have to give it more plays on Spotify, but I'd much rather a 4-minute version to lose myself in. Made me think of Rivers on the Blue album in '94. And last but not least, we've got track 14, Magic Man. It's like you can imagine the voice note that Brendan sent to the band's group chat, can't you? Just him walking around saying, "I've got it, guys, I've cracked the code. The next album, Magic Man. Magic Man. Hey, Scotty. Magic Man." So yeah, that's it. A perfect start and a perfect finish. A few bumps, but mostly there's a real heartbeat to this album. It's a grower, not a shower. It's better as a whole than in bits. To make something this good without your main guitarist, well done. Sure, Glow On had its pandemic moment, and I loved it. Glow On is a classic, but there were some songs on that album I didn't like, so we're all standing on the shoulders of it, knowing what's possible. You had to do Glow On to get here, and honestly, in some ways, I prefer this to Glow On. As you can see, I like washed out chillwave stuff, and it's updated with bigger production, and living in a hot sunny country helps as well when you're listening to this in peak summer vibes. But if you wanted a heavy hardcore album, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you want to go to a field or an arena and see thousands moshing to this, you will and you should. I will be playing it all summer long until Loathe drop their album. Should they have leaned more into the prog of it all and made every song 7 minutes, extending it with delayed reverb vocals and 80s guitars and glittering synths? I sure as hell would have loved it if they had, but maybe they got too scared to do it on every song, but boy do I hope they do it on the next one. They still could extend stuff live though, and I hope they do it. Keeps shows exciting, especially if you're going to be dragging old songs up with this new sound, so find ways to make the old songs, have fun. Extend it all. So it should be as clear as day to you that this is my album of the week. It's most likely your album of the week if you like alternative punk rock. Anyway.
Thanks, Warner.
Fuck off, mate. I'll see you next week. Peace.